Hello everybody, I wanted to do a quick YouTube video and I hope that I can make this quick. But I want to talk about wolves. It's a funny way to start a conversation, I know, but I just read a report that came out on the Idaho Fish and Game's website on Friday, just on January 26th, I think it was, 23rd, 24th, just this past Friday. Anyway, I want to talk about wolves in Idaho and some of the numbers and maybe a solution that we as hunters can get behind one another and support each other on to help reduce the number of wolves here in the state of Idaho. What was alarming about this report on Fish and Game's website, and I will link every article that I cite here, I will link it in the description below on this YouTube video. But essentially, they're saying that as of the summer of 2019, that the wolf population in Idaho was 1,541 wolves. And I want to give a little bit of historical context to that. The last time that Idaho specifically did a count on the wolf population was in 2015. And so at the end of 2015, the wolf population in Idaho was 786 wolves. So that was alarming when I read on Friday that the population was 1,541. I want to give a little bit of context there. At the end of 2015, when numbers were measured, it was at the low point of the season due to hunting, trapping, and other management efforts, whereas the 2019 measurement was taken in the middle of the summer, where a lot of the fall hunting and trapping hasn't kicked into gear yet, and the 2019 number also includes wolf pups that had been born spring, early summer of 2019. So, I want to give a little bit of historical context to these numbers. It's not as bad as it looks, but I still think Idaho has a huge wolf problem, and I'm going to walk you through some of the numbers here. So if you go with the 1,541 wolves in the state of Idaho in this most recent 2019 survey, Fish and Game says they have reports and confirmation of 327 wolves known to have been taken through hunting, trapping, and other management action. And another 208 wolves died of natural causes. So, even if you do the math, at 1,541 wolves, 327 to hunting, trapping, and management, and another 208 die of natural causes, that still leaves you with 1,006 wolves in the state of Idaho. If you look at some of the numbers that they were originally predicting, for example, the federal minimums when they were looking at this, years ago. This is from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, FWS.gov. They're talking about 2015. That their objective, the minimum objective from the federal government at the time was 15 breeding pairs and 150 wolves in each state in the northern Rocky Mountain area, Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. 150 wolves in each state. Idaho has 1,006. I think it's actually more than that. And the reason I'm getting so passionate about this issue is because for the first time in my life, I do a lot of archery hunting. We hiked in 2 miles back into a basin this year on the day before the opener, and I'll show you some footage up here that we ran into competition with a pack of 6 wolves. I had never seen a pack of wolves in this unit before. I had seen a solo wolf, but this was a full-on pack of wolves howling, going off, and everything else, barking at us at less than 200 yards. We didn't shoot anything that trip. And it was pretty discouraging with 6 other competitors in there, and I know wolves are around, everybody knows that, it's no secret obviously, but when they come to your unit and your basin, it starts to get personal, at least it did for me. I've even got trail cams of a lot of elk activity in that basin, in that unit. And then about 10 days before the season opener on August 19th, I have a couple of wolves chasing some elk on my trail cams, and about that time, all activity of the elk just disappears off my trail cams. And then 10 days later we hiked in, found that pack of 6 wolves, didn't shoot anything, saw very little
I'm
elk.
not afraid.
They had all been pushed out. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this number. So 1,006 wolves in the state of Idaho.
He's right there.
You go back to this Fish and Wildlife Service report. They say the service expects the entire northern Rocky Mountain wolf population to maintain a long-term average around 1,000 wolves. I mean, Idaho has 1,000 already just on its own, not including Wyoming and Montana. I did look at some of those numbers. Most recent figures that I could find for the state of Montana, I'll even put a little heat map up here. You see most of the wolf activity and probability of encountering wolves and wolf packs is right on the border, western Montana and eastern Idaho. But they have 819 wolves, according to the 2018 reports from Montana's Fish and Game site. So, and I just was blown away that Idaho seems to have a bigger wolf problem than both Montana or Wyoming. Wyoming estimates that I saw were only 97 wolves in Yellowstone and a couple hundred other wolves outside of Yellowstone. So compared to Idaho, that's a drop in the bucket. Even this testimony from the Office of Congressional and Legislative Affairs on the management of wolves, this is actually testimony from a guy named Stephen Gerton, the Deputy Director for Policy for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. He testifies before Congress that at the end of 2015, there were 1,704 wolves in Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. At that time, at least at the end of 2015, Idaho has 786 wolves. That's almost half that number in those three states, right there in the state of Idaho. And I think it's worse than that, because if you go back to that last report in Idaho in 2015, when they took these, I guess you call it a wolf census, the count, beyond the 786 wolves, here's what they also said. Biologists documented 108 packs within the state at the end of 2015. In addition, there were 20 documented border packs counted by Montana, Wyoming, and Washington that had established territories overlapping in the state of Idaho. Also, additional packs are suspected but not included due to lack of documentation. Estimated pack size back then was 6.4 wolves per pack. Just a 20 border packs that weren't counted for Idaho but that have overlapping territory in Idaho. That's a ton more wolves, and you know that they're crossing in and out of those borders, killing elk and whatever else they want to get their paws on. So Idaho has, in my opinion, the biggest wolf problem in these three states. What I'd like to propose is that we come together as hunters to fix this problem. We have the ramifications and the legal recourse to go out and harvest wolf. But I think too many of us big game hunters have been doing predator hunting sort of as we could fit it in, or here and there, or if we felt like going out on a quick Saturday or something. But what I would like to do is propose a challenge for 2020. And I guess we'll call this the Flexmark Game Calls 2020 Wolf Challenge. And that is for us big game hunters, us predator hunters, us sportsmen. Get out there and schedule a wolf hunt on the calendar, just like you would a big game hunt, an elk hunt, a mule deer hunt, your whitetail season. I think us sportsmen and women need to take this a little bit more seriously, because it is the recourse that we have to go out and reduce these numbers of wolves in the state of Idaho. Frankly, to be honest, I love the animal of the wolf. I love what the wolf can do. I love this pack mentality, the fierceness, the ferociousness, the strength, the ability to endure the winters, to take down, animals that are much, much larger than them. The sort of pack mentality, I don't want to say family values, but you know what I'm saying. All for one, one for all with these wolves. I love that. And next to these guys, these elk, wolves are honestly my favorite animal, but there's still a lot of room in my opinion, and obviously I'm not a biologist, I'm not an expert in these areas. I've just done a little bit of research looking at the numbers and wolf populations across these 3 states, and I think there's a lot more room for thinning those packs. And it's up to us to do it, and we can. I mean, for example, in the state of Idaho, you can buy 5 wolf tags. You don't even have to wait until you harvest one to buy another. You could buy 2 or 3 or 4 at a time if you wanted to. As an out-of-state hunter, and here's where I'll get another aside in, you know, as big game hunters, we sometimes like to grumble and whine and moan about out-of-staters coming in and hunting our units and hunting our territories, and that truck drives by with a California plate or a Virginia, whatever, out-of-state plates. You know, we kind of get that grumbling feeling like, stay home, you know, but honestly, I think we need to grow up a little bit there. But 2, this is an area with wolf control where we can totally get behind each other. I would love it for anybody out of state to come over here to Idaho, pick up some over-the-counter wolf tags, and help us with this wolf problem that we have. So we can certainly band together in this. I was out just at the end of 2019 in December, hiking the mountain through the snow. I don't have a snow machine, I don't have a 4-wheeler, but there we were on the mountain looking for wolf. That's my challenge to the rest of us sportsmen and sportswomen and hunters and outdoorsmen out there. Let's get it done in 2020. Put it on the calendar and let's take it a little bit more seriously. So in order, for me to feel like I'm doing my part, what I like to do is for every wolf that's legally harvested, and you can send pictures or video with your tagged wolf, and I'll put it here in the video, probably down here. You can tag us on our Instagram or on our email at flexmarkoutdoors@gmail.com. You send us evidence of a legally harvested and tagged wolf, we will personally send you a pretty maiden Flexmark elk call. Now I know that's not a big deal. I know these are only worth $10, you know? However, it's something that I feel like I can do, like we can do here at Flexmark to promote control of the wolf numbers. I really was alarmed when I saw these figures from the state of Idaho. Now, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was on the outside. However, there's still a lot of room for control, especially when these minimum levels of wolves are 15 breeding pairs and 150 or 200 wolves per state. Idaho has 6-7 times that amount right now. So, and possibly more with those border packs that were counted by other states. So come out to Montana, come out to Idaho, check the local state regulations in those states where you would like to hunt. Make sure you're in accordance with open seasons and ethical practices, but let's see if we can band together and reduce these wolf populations, okay? That's my pledge. We will mail out those calls. Just get in contact with us. We're going to be out there with a wolf hunt on our calendar too. So let's make 2020 the best year ever, and let's just get her done, everyone. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.